Are you that?
Rosille has had something on her mind ever since we arrived here. I do not think she has been eating much either. I'm so worried.
Are you that?
Someone she cared about changed in front of her eyes. It must be hard for her, but there's nothing I can do to help. Well, we're the Empress now, so probably it's up to us. Hey everyone, welcome back to Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. In last episode, affection did conquer all, didn't it?
Yeah.
And Charlotte's skill branch was completed, and we got a little bit of an in-depth look at unused story content. This episode, though, we've gone through life and loss, and we've gone through ascension and everything else. It's time to go home, but not before we take up more unpleasant tasks.
What is it?
Not you. But still. This is the woman in question, so let's see who she feels.
Hey.
No, it's you. I know that I can rely on you. I'm sure you'll be able to help. Forgive me, but won't you hear out my request? I truly don't know what to do. Why did this have to happen? Galvin transformed into a Telethia right in front of me. But he was still himself inside. He flew off without attacking me. But I just keep thinking about it. Galvin was such a kind man. I can't bear to think that he could be attacking people right now. So I have something terrible to ask of you. I want you to help me save Galvin. The only thing is, I don't know where he went after he flew away. Perhaps there's someone who has seen him. Could you ask around?
And luckily, we get a lot of tips on where people could be. I like side quests already because it starts off and it gives you a little bit of an insight on where everyone's gone. And since we've already talked to one chap, let's see what he has to say about Galvin.
Are you that?
Rosille wants to know where Galvin is. I do not tell Rosille, but Galvin saved my life. He transformed into a Telethia, but even so, he protected me while I was being attacked. Once I was safe, he flew away towards the Imperial Palace. Perhaps he went to save someone else. Well, that's all we can do here. Let's go to Frontier Village and see what else we can find. And one side quest isn't enough. We've gone from normal people to alcoholics. Not know what to do. What should Nilo do? It would be impossible for me to do alone. Can Nilo talk to friends about something? There is talk of rebuilding Imperial capital. It is dangerous at the moment because many Telethia are there. You look like you know Telethia. Even that form, they still remain in Imperial capital. They probably still think a little like bird people. But can't leave things as they are. Can't let Imperial capital become a city of dev. Pains me to say this, but friends must seek out those Telethia. Seek out those Telethia who were once Nilo's old friends. When you find them, put them to sleep. Will friends do this for Nilo? Sorry to ask you, friends. Nilo's old friends in form of Aura Telethia. Good luck. I love how in these morbid side quests it brings everyone together almost. And Nilo, who was once an alcoholic, now is just turns morbid. Oh no, it's a bit of a nice change. I like it. Meanwhile,
Hello?
what's that? You want information about Galvin? Well then, I didn't see him myself, but I heard what happened. We need to find one who was nearly attacked in Revelation Hall. Anyway, it's just a rumor. It's not just the most reliable information. And honestly, I wish that was the end. We've seen knights turn rogue, we've seen friends turn against each other. And we've put it off for a long time during this playthrough, but it's been honestly staring at us in the face for the longest time. Where we're going to now, it is the last side quest in Frontier Village. And it's not the prettiest. First of all, we need intel.
You want to know where Galvin is? Actually, there was someone who protected us along with our father. I don't know if it was this Galvin you're looking for, though. After helping us, he headed for the entrance to the Imperial Palace. That's about all I know. I hope it's of some use to you.
Well, it looks like the palace is out a way to go. But in exchange for information, we let on to something, the kid. Let's have a listen.
Excuse me, can I ask you a favor? Back in the capital, our dad turned into a Lafia. Now all that's left for our family is me and my sister Cian. I'm coping with it, but Cian still thinks that our dad is gonna come for us. I don't want to tell her the truth just yet. She should at least have some kind of memento of her dad. I know he had a precious object he kept buried in the ground. Thank you. Dad buried it by a small fountain near the Fountain of Hope. We used to go there.
And finally, there's one more side quest to take care of for us. Morel, what's up?
Have you seen a boy called Teelan anywhere? I'm really worried. No one I asked knows where he is. I'd been asking people until our communications went down. He's just a little boy. I can't stop worrying about him. He must still be in Alcamoth, but there's no way I can go there. You're all so kind. The capital's a very dangerous place now. Please be careful. All I can do is pray that you and Teelan return safely.
Now, fun story. During our first playthrough of this game, we saw Alcamoth in the state it was, and we thought, oh, I guess we can't go back because, you know, there's no other way in which we can access Alcamoth. But then, just randomly walking around, and we got to this point and we were exploring. And we thought, wouldn't it be funny if it was still up? And we were surprised. You can go back. Now this was morbid and very exciting for us during our first playthrough because we couldn't believe that Alcamoth was still around. And although you don't get to see it quite as vividly here in the original Xenoblade, there was a thick ether mist that occurred as soon as you walk through this little pathway. Now you could technically see it at the bottom of the screen. There's kind of like a purple tinge, so that indicates that's a high ether level here. But yeah. Alcamoth is, not as we remembered it. So much so that there's still Telethia randomly walking and flying around. I don't know. There's just something about this which is very morbid, how the fountains are still going, how the ether's still going.
There is a bit of a dark ether mist.
Yeah, it's just not as obvious as it was in the original version. I don't know. It's a bit of a nice touch though. It's very weird how the escalators are still going now.
And the car's not.
Yeah, not gonna lie. However, this does bring up a great bit of storytelling and world building in this game. We have heard countless times that the upper regions of Bionis have higher ether concentration, and with high exposed ether comes, well, pretty much all this. But the one thing that I love is the layout and design of Alcamoth itself. Some people on a glance would think, oh, the reason why Alcamoth is in a glass bubble is because, oh, you know, it's imperial, it's to keep out the scum and the mechon and whatnot. Or some might say, oh, it's a metaphor, those in glass houses should keep their stones and insults away and whatnot. However, if you really think about it, I love the aspect that the reason why Alcamoth is such in the glass bubble is because it's protection against the high concentration of ether. Because up until this point, we have never seen a Telethia inside Alcamoth. It's always been outside. And guess what? Now the ether's inside, everything changes. I love the soundness of world building in this game. I can't say enough about it.
It's morbid to think about the Hyentia living up here in such a dangerous region.
I mean, let's face it, I can imagine not a lot of Hyentia, at least in the general public, knew about all this. And people just took it as a nice bit of architecture. Because let's face it, with how fancy and schmancy they've made everything, dude, I wouldn't complain. And also, it's probably not direct, but I can remember Dunban's explanation for Alcamoth floating. You can eat bread for knowing how to make it. You can live somewhere even though you don't know what it was for or built for. Oh no. There's just so many subtleties in which you can point out at various moments and go, ah, I see what they did there. And it pretty much all surrounds the Telethia. I love it.
And how the statues in the Imperial Palace are all huge.
And how in the heart-to-heart with Fiora and Ricky, it's always called like Melia's ancestors or the ancestrals to Telethia. Even back when we first got to Prison Island in the first place, it was pretty much said, "Oh my God, that looks like a dino beast."
Yeah.
Why is a monster being made into a statue and held in such regard?
It's really nice because, like, in that time the Telethia were kind of faded into the background until Mechonis Core, where we learned about what they truly are.
And you know what? It also comes in the right time in which the Hyentia race themselves became more prevalent, because it was all about the Mechon and taking Egil down. And Callian and the rest of the Hyentia, like the Telethia, sort of faded into the background, or almost like they were meant to be one and the same. So again, we could go on and on and on about how the Telethia were tied so much into the narrative. It's so great, because that's something you never really catch on until you really think about it. Where the Hyentia are, and the Telethia is. Any time that it's become a focus, it's happened. Oh no, it's just such a gorgeous bit of storytelling. And even then, the music still stays the same. And also in the environmental design, that this was going to become somewhat like a creature hub world. For example, this is one of the only places in entire game in which there is a settlement, quote unquote, but also still having collectibles around it. Because Colony 9, that doesn't have collectibles inside it. Frontier Village, when you're actually inside the village, there aren't any collectibles. Inside the Fallen Arm with the village, inside there's no collectibles. Here though, there is. Almost like saying, hey, get these collectibles while you can. It's not going to be easy for long.
Mm-hmm.
And this spot looks familiar. Family picture. And then, like nothing ever changes, the dad's still here in the same place. Again, just adding to the morbid feels.
Mm-hmm.
Volrain, he isn't much different to the Telethia in which we have faced beforehand. In fact, his biggest attack that you should always look out for is his predation. And to add just a little bit more dynamic to it, he's flocked by little ones. AKA his now Telethia children. It's not his actual children, but you get the point.
Yeah.
He was always flocked by little ones running around, so he's done that. In more ways than one. But apart from that, though, this guy is not that big of a threat. If we're able to keep up with the combos like I did during chain attack, he's pretty much a piece of cake. Now, the dad can rest in peace. Honestly, I still feel kind of bad, even to this day, when killing this character off, because I don't know if we've talked about this joke during our Let's Play.
I think we have.
Okay, but
Given up the sword already? No, that's not it at all.
yeah, yes, it is joke. Anyway, though, in case you missed it, I think it's still here on the affinity chart. Hopefully it is. Where are you? There we are. Yeah, sure. When I first played this game, this was zoomed out so far that it looked like dating. We thought like the dad was dating his kids. I mean, it's high end shit. They would be old enough, but still messed up.
Yeah.
Oh no! And after making joke after joke after joke about that expense, I always felt kind of bad. It's like, oh no, you weren't a creep. You were just a loving dad. It's just my English and what was very bad.
and we were immature.
Yes. Oh well. At least, though, he gave us good stuff, and we learned a lesson from him. Don't be immature with children, even though sometimes you have to be, to humor them.
Yeah.
And put up with them. Like how we had to when looking for them, let's say.
Mm-hmm. This also explains why Aircy has kind of a somber tone to it.
Mm-hmm. It's really got to be difficult, and you know what? I'll give full credit to the composers of Ace, Minami Kyoto, Yoko Shimura, and everything like that, especially in areas like Alcamoth. Like, look, I want you to, because if I were to say I was a composer, and I was told, okay, look, you need to make a beach song that's also by an imperial capital, that's floating. And it needs to look beautiful, but it also needs to carry a bit of somberness whilst not being sad.
Yeah, because if I was a composer and I was told to make a beach theme, I'd kind of make like a reggae type thing.
Hey man, all the Telepia are dead, man. Hey, your brothers and sisters are all monsters now and wanting to die. Dead. Yeah, it wouldn't quite gel.
Yeah.
It wouldn't quite go well.
No.
But I digress. But again, with that in mind, you gotta give props to the composer. They had to take all of those notes, all for those narrative elements, if not more, and add them all in. So you know what? Good for you guys. Which is again why Xenoblade Chronicles is one of the best soundtracks in video games history. Yes, fight me. I will not drop that guard. Xenoblade Chronicles is one of the greatest soundtracks of any video game, period.
And the fact that it got gypped out of everything in the Game Awards is a complete bollocks train.
Honestly, the fact that it wasn't even nominated for like video game soundtrack of the year. I don't care if it was a soundtrack retread in some way, shape or form. It's still good.
Yeah.
It has a lot of the greatest Japanese composers you can think of. Minami Kyoto and Yoko Shimura, JRPG veterans who've gone back since the 90s. Brand new composers like Ace Plus who stormed onto the scene with Xenoblade, at least regarding video games. It's what made them a great name. Don't worry, I'm fine.
That's not gonna work. It's an ether attack.
Did Shulk just save himself, the bastard?
No, he gave speed to Melia, but it's worthless because it's an ether attack.
Oh well. Once again, Shulk AI is useless.
At least he's doing Purge when the Telethia do Soul Read.
Yeah.
Timing is everything. Remember that. Perfect.
Now with that all said and done, we're just gonna kill off one more Telethia and then we'll get right back. And suddenly a vision! It's been a long time since the transporters went out. Maybe the furnace controls are broken again.
Can we get out of here again? Help us, please, anybody! Stop making such a noise. What happened if the Telethia saw us here?
Find someone who can use the EV furnace controls and ask them to fix them. And we can. Very weird how it would activate it as soon as the fight ended. Normally there's a bit more subtlety to it.
I thought Shulk had like a last minute vision of the fight.
Oh my god, I predict that Telethia is going to die. Huh. Guess don't need to worry about anything there. Okay, now one last thing we want to show before we miss things. There is a quest here. But if you are unknown about or don't know where to go, thank God for the Definitive Edition. Or always check to see the outer areas if there's anything, because odds are there's always been one subtle thing no matter which part of the game it's in, whether it's been just random NPCs giving out side quests, exposition, minor details, or maybe even a secret club.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but my god, it works. And sure enough, how did the Telethia not find you? How?
Maybe because he's so small.
I guess. Either way. The ultimate game of hide and seek, I suppose.
Morel asked you to come and look for me. She's waiting by the ether planet there, see? Thank you. I'll go to her.
I like how he had the crying animation but was facing us.
Uh-huh. I mean, come on, it could have been worse. It could have been Lisky. I'm scared. I'm alone. Oh, friends, hi. Yeah, sure. That would have broken the narrative just slightly.
Or doing push-ups like Nick was.
Oh my god. Well, we have one more thing to do, but we'll do that in due time. I just want to get one thing started and ready to go. If we go to the Nopon Tower, I believe at night time. We have an old Nopon who knows how things work in Alcamoth.
You know,
I pray that Vidin was able to escape to safety. I do hope she was able to get onto one of the evac ships. She is a wonderful individual. I really hope she is safe. Well, buddy, lucky for you, she
you
is.
know.
I hope Elor is safe. His wishes become an adventurer. I hope he has the skill to get him through this time of hardship. I want to make sure of one thing. Yes, he's fine. However, not every child makes it out in one piece. If you look over here, Lunara didn't make it, and neither did her big brother Malaise. I feel pretty sad about Lunara because as we discovered a few episodes ago, her dialogue got changed in this definitive edition. She never got to see her dad again. Well, hopefully she has now. Anyway, though, yeah, we have one more thing to do before finishing off here.
You know,
But Burnus is no longer a safe place for a humble adventurer. It's all right for the likes of you who can defend yourselves. Hello?
Hello?
Kaleke?
I think because we need to get parts.
You know,
What? Hang on, give us a second.
Kalika must be spoken to in the Nopon Town Frontier Village. Broken ether furnace is triggered and must be completed first. Broken ether furnace won't be available until after fully completing restoring the capital.
Skip the step. Skip step. Have to speak to one Nopon. Weird. I have to speak to the other Nopon before speaking to the Nopon. Well, neither for its worth, buddy. We did it. So you fell to Telefia? Though inside Nilo feels sad. Nilo appreciates it. Actually, there's a Nopon who is good at repairing machines. With help of this Nopon, we could begin rebuilding Imperial Capital. You know what, Nilo? We'll take all that good stuff you have. Want more? Thanks to Thren's rebuilding of cities now in sight. Now you know Thren's to get some... You know what? You know, some... You know what? Now know what Melia means? No? Maybe Nero's been drinking too much. Anyway, Nero spoke about working with Nopon to fix his machines. And Nopon says we need to start all by fixing broken machines. We need to start those machines to rebuild Sea City. We do not have the correct machine parts to do that. Neither can get hands on other materials for the village. Machine parts not easily acquired. Are you making the preparations all on your own? No, nah, just Nilo alone. Not enough merchants also help. Nilo could not do this work alone. Of course, having help of friends allows us to succeed too. Well, we'll deal with that. We'll get on that soon. But until then though guys, I think we'll end things off here. Alcamoth's getting one step closer to being better again. We've still got a long way to go. But until then guys, thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like it. If you didn't, well then, find peace with the telepathy please. But until then, if you want to subscribe, see more content like this, then be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.